Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic / Non Classics. This is episode number 2604 and Doubleshot number 2498. Yeah, first we're starting off with. Now, I had mentioned the last time I talked about this character that I'm putting his main series in hiatus until I get this one to the point of the crossover known as Suicide Run. I didn't want to abruptly go ahead and start reviewing the series, even though I haven't reviewed it just yet. So, we're starting off with his very first spin-off ongoing series, which lasted for 100 issues. It lasted for 80 issues. Yep. And did have a successful revival in 2006. I reviewed part of the book already, but now I was talking about the very first volume for the series. Oh, and by the way, this book had 2 annuals published for 80 issues. Yep, 2 annuals. Alright, so we're talking about The Punisher War Journal Classic. Yes, now this actually is one of 2 classic books for Punisher War Journal. Now, this one here is an older one because this site doesn't have the other one that recently came out. That I'm going to review that next time. This talks about this collects the first 8 issues of the ongoing series. Mostly put in these issues, Punisher usually battles some one-shot character in these books, and end of each issue has him basically collecting a weapon. That's kind of the start of the series. Oh, in case you're curious though, who is the writer of this book? It is written and drawn by Carl Potts. Carl Potts is the writer for all 8 issues of this book. He does draw. Yes, he draws. He does artwork, the layouts for issues 1 through 3 and 6 and 7. He co-does the artwork with Jim Lee. He does the co-plotting duty with John Willington. The cover you saw there, that's Carl Potts. Move on from there. Yeah, first issue, him firing at people. Now, mostly put in the case of these issues now, first you have Eye for an Eye. That's the opening issue. Yep. Mostly put it just Punisher battling some. It's almost like we've seen the main Punisher books. You see microchip in the first issue, where it's like gives him a brand new gun. Yes, it's called a Gult's 9. Yeah, this book goes to a lot into guns. This book is obsessed with guns. Yeah, so he battles a guy in this issue, probably some one-shot character. And by the end of the issue, he gives a profile of the gun he just collected. Yep. So it's like, oh, this book is about collecting guns. Kind of, yes. But not really. But issue 1 doesn't start that. And then we have a profile pic of, like, basically the writers as the first issue. Issue 2 has a guest appearance by Daredevil. Yeah, he is actually one of 2 characters to make a guest appearance in this book. Now you're thinking, Daredevil guest starring in a Punisher book. You're like, standard Marvel Comics 101. These 2 love guest starring each other books, just like how Punisher likes popping up on the pages of Amazing Spider-Man. Yes, these 3 characters love interacting with each other. Well, actually, the writers of these comics love doing this. Now, the only character Punisher has interacted with a lot, aside from Daredevil and Spider-Man, is Captain America, which is more of an occasional thing. But there's another character that writers love having him encountering. So, issue 2 is mostly put just Daredevil just popping up to stop Daredevil from just killing people in the prison. That's kind of what this issue is. And it's a standalone issue. Yeah, basically the first 2 issues are standalone. And then we have cover story called Eye for an Eye. Chapter 3 is basically Punisher battling some thugs. Of course, Daredevil is here again in this issue. Yeah, he's here for these 2 issues in particular. I don't think he's in issue 3. No, issue number 4. 4 and 5 is a 2-parter of Punisher takes on a sniper, who apparently is a. It's implied to be he's also a Vietnam vet, and basically Punisher takes him on these issues. He apparently is like a fall from grace sniper, from what I could tell, possibly. That's kind of what basically this issue is. Like him falling from grace, and then basically in issue number 5, Punisher takes him on. In that very issue. And at the end of the issue, he gets a sniper rifle. Yep, he beats him, and then for the next 2 issues, we have for issues 6 and 7, we have a guest appearance by Wolverine. Yep, another character. Writers of Marvel Comics love having him interact with the Punisher. As a matter of fact, these two actually were on a team together. Yes, they were on the Savage Avengers from the Gary Duggar, which was fantastic. I kind of wish it was longer. So, they say on the cover, like, meeting for the first time and maybe the last. I think this may have been the first time Punisher ever met Wolverine. And this is a quick 2-parter. Like him kind of in the jungle. That's kind of what this 2-parter is. And he gets we see some more Punisher's arsenal. We see looks like some machine guns. And we see a gun. Now, this gun, some of you may have seen this gun pop up in Stargate SG-1. And it's this gun right here. Yeah, that's the same gun that pops up in SG-1. It's a different color. I remember when the show was black. Here in the comic, it's green. But, yeah, it's the same type of gun they use in the show. Not the same exact gun per se, but the same type. And then this issue fights a character named Damage. And that's pretty much it. So, an okay start for this book. Not terrible. I mean, it's basically something I love about Punisher. It's not like Punisher Volume 2, which I love Punisher War Journal Volume 2. Volume 1 may not be everybody's cup of tea, but basically Punisher War Journal, it's just basically another Punisher book. It feels like basically this could be like issues that fill in the gap between issues. Alright? Next up is a book that I have been regretting basically doing this book because, well, you're thinking, wait, you just read the first volume not too long ago. That's true, I did. But the problem is the artwork. We are now starting a run for Generation X. I am not happy the fact I have to get this, but this is the last thing I have to cover. I love the first volume for Generation X. The second volume is not the same as the first volume. It does feature 2 characters who are prominent characters in the first volume. In this book, it's mostly about those 2 working with characters. Like, there's one that popped up in the early 2000s. A lot of everybody else appears in this book were from the Wolverine X-Men book. We have Generation X, Volume 1, Natural Selection. Now, the problem I have with this book is the artwork. Now, this is by Christian Strand. I have no problem with the writing. The writing is fantastic. The covers are good. The backgrounds in this book are really good. The problem with the opening 4 issues, and I showed this to Scott Liddell, believe it or not. Even he agrees. The artwork is atrocious in this book. Like, my God, no wonder this book was canceled after only 12 issues. The book was... Now, I think the reason why the book kept going and why people bought this book because of the amazing covers by Terry and Rachel Dotson. They do all 12 issues book. The last few issues, basically, I'll get to what happened with those issues. Now, the artist who does the opening 4 issues book is Amilcar Pina. Alberto Albuquerque does issue 5, which is slightly better artwork. And then we have Eric Kuda, who does issue number 6, who has the best artwork of all these 6 issues here. Yeah, because this collects the first 6 issues of this volume. Yep. Like, here you go. Look at that amazing artwork by Terry Rachel Dawson. Amazing. And he gets the book, and it's like, what the heck is up with these faces? Like, the only person who works... Now, here's the cast of this book. We have Jubilee, Chamber, characters previous fine, okay. We also have Quentin McTire, iBoy, Nature Girl. It's basically Jubilee and Chamber teaching a class. That's what this book is. It's not the regular Generation X. Though at least this book does feature characters from the previous volume, which, good job on the writer for doing that. I am not a fan of this artwork. I mean, the backgrounds look fine. It's just, oh, look, it's Brew. And of course, we have this guy named Brandon. And then we see characters some of you may or may not know of. Brew is a character from Wolverine the X-Men. Actually, he made his first appearance in Astonishing X-Men. He popped up. And then we see Glob. Yes. The guy who we can see is inside. He is a Grant Morrison character. Next to him is Genesis, a character created by Rick Remender. And then we have, I think that's supposed to be Rockslide. That, I believe, is the creation of the guy who did New Mutants Volume 2. Then we have Emist and Martha. The woman who looks, the little girl who looks extremely old, and Martha is a brain in the jar. These two are also characters created by Grant Morrison. Pixie, I'm trying to remember who created her. I think it may have been, I don't remember who created, let me look up who created Pixie here. Because Pixie has been around since the 2000s. The problem with her character is, well, the fact that no one has any idea what to do with her. Yeah, that's the ultimate really big problem with Pixie. Is that no one has any... Okay, so she's a creation... Oh yeah, she's a new Comic X, I remember that. Of Nunzio De Phillips, Christina Weir, and Michael Ryan. Yes. So this... Oh, one of the most notable and powerful female superheroes. I'm reading this on Wikipedia, and I'm like... Yeah, she's a cool character. The problem is, no one wants anything to do with this character half the time. It's like, she's barely featured in the comic book. Oh yeah, and you see the guy here crawling on the ceiling? That is a Noel, another character from that series. The one with the blue skin, I don't immediately recognize her. I had to look up basically who's in this book here. Excuse me. For some reason, the artist likes to have people's faces look like horses. I do not know why this is. If you're curious, how long ago did this book come out? If you really want to know, this is part of the whole Regenesis stuff that was Resurrection X was really, really good. This came out in 2017, so roughly about 6 years ago. Yeah, and the characters in this book, you have Morph, who is Benjamin Deeds. He's a character in this book. We have a new character named Hindsight, Nathaniel Kiver. Yeah, that's the guy with the guy look like Quicksilver. Yeah, he is a new character for this book, and it's implied he's gay. Yeah, and because he's a character named Benjamin Deeds. Here's the thing. I have no problem with gay characters at all. That's not the issue with this. Of course, my issue... Now, he's popped up sporadically since the book wrapped up, and, well... Yeah, so my ultimate problem with some characters who are either gay is, or bisexual, if a character has been established for decades, it's straight. Don't just say, oh, this character's gay, he's always been gay. It's bullcrap, bunch of bullcrap nonsense. Okay, the other characters we have here... let's see. We also have Sprite. Oh yeah, she's the girl with the patch thing. She is actually a Jason Aaron character. First appeared in the final issue of Avengers vs. X-Men. Yep. Rockslide, of course. He is, I believe, he's from the same people who created Pixie. Yes, he is. Sadly, put the character's code deceased. Yes. Glob Herman. Grey Milken. Grey Milken, I believe, first popped up in Young X-Men. He's a creation of Mark Guggenheim and Jan Prenick. Yeah, the thing with Grey Milken is, here's the weird thing about this character. Is that, get this, his family actually originally owned the Xavier Institute. Yep, and he got buried alive. And then he woke up in present day. You're like, what? Seriously? Yeah, and prior to this book, last time he appeared, he actually did appear in the opening issue of X-Men Gold, but he was also just a fairly recurring character, not that big of a character anyways. Other characters they have here, well, there's also Shark Girl, a Jason Aaron character that, well, I think it's a really interesting character. The only problem is, no one wants anything to do with this character at all. She was introduced just after AVX. She's run sporadically. If you're curious, though, she's here just for the first couple issues. She's only here for like a few of the issues, and that's it. If you're curious, though, where's she appearing currently? Well, she has been featured in the pages of Sabretooth and the X-Men stuff. Is she still part of the X-Men? No, she's part of the Dark Riders. Well, the co-op group, anyways. Yep. Yeah, that's where she's basically part of nowadays. That's what she was. Her most recent appearance was in a digital comic. Yeah, she's a fairly not that known of a character. I mean, I know of her, but the most interesting thing I love about this issue, so we have all these characters that said the Jean Grey School of Higher Learning, and we see like various stuff with Benjamin Deeds, and like, oh, yeah, and of course, basically, Kitty Pryde, who's the headmistress at this time. This is actually before she defected Cyclops' side. Yes. Look, here's a close-up of Jubilee's face. Jubilee is not normally drawn like that. It's this artist who draws like a freaking horse. And then we have Bling. Yes, Bling is here. You know, a character who's an open lesbian. Who actually dated Mercury. A relationship that went nowhere. No, seriously. I'm not kidding about that. That's the problem with Bling. It's like she's here, and then like nothing. Yeah, she dated her in the, I think it was the volume 2 of the book. Yeah, I think that sounds right, yes. Yeah, she's basically here. Yeah. Who created Bling? Peter Mulligan and Sal Badarroca. She first appeared in X-Men Volume 2, number 71. Yep. That's where she first showed up. Yeah, Peter Mulligan created this character, though. She, of course, is probably a character, and of course, like, open relationship with her. So, she's still dating Mercury. Yes. A relationship that went nowhere. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, why in the world would they basically put these two as a couple if you're not going to do anything with it at all? At one point, this girl dated Wither. No, Wither? Yeah, briefly dated him because here was the thing about Mercury and Wither. Mercury is the only girl he can touch without basically turning to dust because Wither had this thing where he touches people and they turn to dust. Mercury is the only character this work with. So at the end of the opening issue of this book, by the way, Jubilee's here with her son Shogo. Excuse me. Going through breaks a wall, and then of course the issue ends with the freaking Purifiers showing up. Yes, the Purifiers. Which, yeah, they're a bigger group than I was knowing some other groups. Like, so they are fighting them in this issue, and the fact Quintet knows something about him and Nature Girl is part of the group too, because why not? Is this New Generation X? No. No, it isn't. The book is called Generation X, but it just basically just a learning experience. Yeah, and then of course then we have Quintet Tired taking a team out and having a couple of them wear outfits from the Grant Morrison book. I am not kidding about that. And having this guy wear Cyclops' old outfit from I think it was Cyclops or Cable from the 90s. Yeah, and then of course Monette pops up here. Yeah, this is a continuation from something from Colin Bunn's Uncanny X-Men book. Yep, and this would be something continuing in this very book. By the time this book wraps up, this would be two major plot threads actually concluded by the time this book wraps up. The other is something we'll get to. By the way, when this book came out, Jubilee was still a vampire. It was the most newest thing to do with the character. Well, they kind of do something with that at the end of the book. And then finally, we have slightly better artwork. We finally passed the awful artwork that was the previous. No, I like the backgrounds. I didn't like the faces. Like his Alberto Albuquerque drawing Jubilee, which that's actually better. Yeah, it's actually slightly better artwork, but still not all that good. Yep. So, like, it's like at the purifier, just do whatever. Oh, and by the way, and just do whatever basically. And also on the Heidi, who's wearing her outfit from the outfit she wore for New X-Men. Heidi, those of you forgot about this character, like apparently like a lot of people at Marvel have, or Ola, yeah, she is a creation of Matt Fraction and Wallace Porquito. Yes, and guess what group she was part of? Well, currently she's part of the Exiles. Well, Krakoa's group anyways. Yeah, she was actually part of basically the Lights, aka Generation Hope. The group assembled by not Pixie, by Hope Summers. Yep, the Lights. These are basically new mutants discovered by, of course, by her, and that's kind of basically what the Hope group of the book was. But I do like the story. The story is fine. I have no problem with the story at all. The problem I have is the artwork. Well, for the opening 4 issues of the book does get better. Yes, it does. It gets a lot better. Now, some of you might be curious though. Does the artwork after issue 6 get better? Is it the same artist as the opening 6 issues of the book? The answer? Oh, no. It is not. But I do like the story. I like the story itself is good. But I'm going to give the book roughly 8.5 out of 10. I would give it a 9.5. But I took a whole point out because of the terrible artwork of the first 4 issues. Yep. So yeah, that's episode of you. Next up, The Eminence in a Shadow. And please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay? Next video. Bye.